The story revolves around Minsun, a high school student who experiences frequent bullying at school from popular classmates because of her appearance. Minsun's lone friend is Min-ji, although for the first 16 years of her life she had no one to talk to before meeting her in high school. So she created Inor, an imagined companion that appears in front of her whenever she wants a friend to chat with. Inor is accompanying Minsun as she prepares for school one morning. Her instincts tell her something fantastic is about to happen today, so she is unduly thrilled about nothing. Inor commends her optimism while urging her to move quickly, much as a good imaginary friend would. Min-ji approaches Minsun as she is making her way to school. They discuss a brand new comic that Minsun obtained the final copy of. Surprisingly, Minsun prefers the antagonist to the main protagonist. She likes the character since he is enthusiastic about his work. This is relevant to Minsun because she has a crush on a character who is similar to the villain in the comic. He goes by the moniker Hoti, and he's the popular kid whom everyone avoids. Interestingly, he approaches her and gives her a keyring that accidentally dropped out of her bag as she is thinking of him. Minsun is especially pleased that he is her crush because this is the first time a guy has been kind to her. Hoti tells her to exercise caution before leaving. On her own, Minsun runs into Inor once more. He is aware of her admiration for Hoti but says nothing about him. On the other hand, Minsun is ecstatic and sure that she will experience lots of wonderful things. She meets Min-ji at a cafe later that day. However, Minsun doesn't seem to notice that Min-ji appears to be upset by something. When a trio of thugs approaches, they continue reading comics. They take the comic away and won't give it back, despite Minsun's best efforts to mind her own business because she knows they cause trouble. Momo is the cruelest girl in the gang. She claims she wants to take out a loan on the comic and keep it for 10 years. They make threats to harm Minsun on the way home when she speaks out for herself. Just when things are about to spiral out of control, Hoti steps in to save Minsun. His father is a powerful businessman who even the bullies dread. Hoti assaults the group member and expels them. He provides Minsun with his phone number so she can contact him if the group bothers her once more. After school, Minsun spends time on Hoti's social media, adoringly scrolling through his images. Even Inor, now that he knows what transpired today, thinks Hoti has feelings for his friend. His name lights on Minsun's phone as they talk about him, and she runs to meet him outdoors. When Minsun inquires as to the reason for his call, he admits that he likes her and wants to go on a date with her. Being unaccustomed to masculine attention, Minsun at first doesn't believe him. However, Hoti leans in for a kiss, making her wish come true. While waiting for the kiss, Minsun closes her eyes. Instead, Hoti mocks her while photographing her at her most helpless. Then it becomes clear that he never liked her and was merely being kind as part of a joke. As they stand with him, the bullies make fun of Minsun for believing she had a shot with Hoti. He is a sociopath as well as a bad person. He is in charge of the school and enjoys terrorizing people by using his father's power. He wants Minsun to assume ownership of his slave. He can treat her any way he wants and she must return to him anytime he desires. While Minsun is still in shock, she is aware that from this point forward, her life would be a living hell. In addition, it is revealed that Min-ji participated in the bully's scheme as well since she felt threatened. After the bullying episode, a month later, Minsun shut off her phone and hasn't left the house since. She lies in bed all day, wallowing in melancholy. She has only her imaginary friend for company, and he is also sick of seeing her in that way. He introduces her to her view of retaliation one day. The poor kid had no idea that she could stand up to the bullies, but Inor inspires her to take control of her life. The next montage shows Minsun drastically altering her way of life. She controls her eating and workouts to shed pounds. In addition, she wraps herself in tape and suffocates for hours out of a desire for vengeance. She concentrates on improving her mindset and acquiring greater confidence through a variety of courses, in addition to losing weight. A whole year later, Minsun underwent a significant metamorphosis. She is more self-assured than ever and has lost weight. She can't help but feel anxious because she must now confront her worries. She targets Yang-jae first because he is the least significant bully group member. She strikes him while acting as though she mistook him for someone else. Now that Minsun is conventionally attractive, Youngjae is drawn to her charisma right away. After some flirting, they exchange phone numbers. While Minsun is prepared for the next stage of the strategy, Youngjae is over the moon. Later on that day, Hoti finds Youngjae regularly using his phone. He doesn't let any of his close friends do anything without first getting his approval. They can't have a relationship without his consent, but they put up with his conditions to win his favor. Hoti playfully threatens to kill his lover if Youngjae has one in secret after noticing that something is strange about him. Min-ji continues to serve as the group's slave and makes purchases on their behalf. In agreement with Momo, she forgets to carry cigarettes this time. Mina, the sweetest person in the group and the last to leave, wishes to pardon Min-ji. She notices that Hoti constantly interrupts them when they are being bullied, and she is cautioned to be careful. When Minsun isn't present, Youngjae phones her, and they get together once more. Now that he talks to her differently than he did before, Minsun is shocked. She is enraged by the change in attitude because she is reminded of how miserable she was due to him only a year ago. She refuses Youngjae when he tells her he likes her, claiming she needs 1 million won and can't be sidetracked. The following day, Youngjae sells his game system and phone to get money for her. Though shocked, Minsun is even more enraged by the act. She imitates their statements to her, saying that she will return the money in 10 years. She throws the money at him and walks away, and Youngjae is astonished since he still doesn't get the point. He swiftly stops her and inquires as to her reasoning for turning him down. He is one of the notorious bullies in the school, according to Minsun, who is honest when she says she hates all bullies. Youngjae replies that if it means she will accept him, he will leave the group and change. The group again causes Min-ji trouble in the scenario that follows. As she approaches them, Youngjae tells her to leave. When Hoti confronts him and asks what he is doing, he is shocked to learn that he intends to break away from the group. Just as things are about to get heated, Minsun arrives at Youngjae and invents a reason to protect him. Despite being immediately terrified by her appearance, Hoti finds her to be stunning. He is extremely kind to Minsun and even asks for her phone number to spot Youngjae. Given that she has been in love with Hoti for a month and is unhappy about the encounter, Momo is not pleased. When Hoti approaches Minsun to ask for her phone number, Youngjae steps in and yanks her away. Although Minsun hugs him and helps him forget about it, he doesn't like that she got involved in his situation. He would try more to win her over by making her fall entirely in love, so she jokes that she is only 10% in love with him. Inor queries Minsun about her well-being at night. He is concerned because she has become somewhat heartless as a result of the change in her attitude. However, Minsun sees nothing wrong with what she is doing and is content to take advantage of Youngjae. A flashback occurs when Inor notices how different she is from a year ago. Minsun had tried several weight loss strategies, including the tape method, but had not succeeded. Then, Hoti visited her, alarmed because it had been over 2 months since she had attended class. When he learned about her small plot of retaliation, he made fun of it. He convinced her that whatever her efforts to shed weight or gain confidence, she will always be their punching bag and a loser who no one likes. Hote's visit sent her down a new depressive path, and she ultimately did the unimaginable. A miracle occurred, and her sister Se got to meet Inor for the first time during her funeral. She used to reside far away and was unaware of Minsun's struggles. She decided to exact revenge for the loss of her sister after learning about the bullies. So it was her sister Se and not Minsun who returned to school with confidence. Se meets Hoti a few days later. She tries to seduce Youngjae while claiming that he is simply a friend. She wants them to fight and kill each other without any assistance from her. They decide to go out one day after exchanging phone numbers. After waiting for Hoti to call her phone in front of him, Se goes on a date with Youngjae. He tries to kiss her while watching TV when she brings him to his place. When the phone rings, Youngjae notices Hoti phoning her. She takes it up and consents to meet him the next day. Se deceives Youngjae into believing she was coerced into giving him her number and that she doesn't want to meet him, which makes Youngjae look shocked. As Youngjae begins to believe her, his hatred for his former closest buddy deepens. To Se's satisfaction, he pledges to do whatever it takes to get rid of Hoti. He calls Hoti in the evening, preparing to whack him with a baseball bat. But before he can act, someone surprises him and knocks him out. There is no indication of Youngjae for a week. Sei is concerned that, after all of her effort, her plan might have failed. She still has to go out with Hoti, and knowing their past, she feels anxious. In the second month of their relationship, Momo learns of this. Hoti presents her with a golden lighter as an expression of his regret for forgetting. Momo, however, does not have a reputation for being a very lenient person. She goes to teach Sei a lesson about hitting on her boyfriend after gathering a few males. When Sei touches Momo, the conversation ends abruptly, and oddly enough, the boys say nothing. She gives the bully one last warning and requests that she never bother them again. Similar to Mina, the kindest member of the group, Sei receives an apology from Mina on her own. Since Mina was never actually mean to her sister, Sei lets her leave. Hoti is the only one remaining to deal with at this point. The next scene depicts a brawl between Hoti, Inor, and Sei. They stab one another, killing everyone. The scenario abruptly switches to a mental hospital. Sei is receiving medical care from Inor for her multiple personality condition. In an unexpected turn of events, it is discovered that Hoti and the bullies were personalities created by Sei herself, not real people. Sei's disorder worsened last year, and she manifested as Hoti, a violent persona. She killed her sister Minsun because she was unable to control her persona. When she finally understood what she had done, guilt overcame her. She made up the entire story about Minsun being bullied to avoid taking responsibility and make herself the hero of the tale rather than the murderer who killed her sister. Because Inor would interrupt her dreams, she assumed all this time that he was her imaginary friend. Nevertheless, Inor was her doctor. He admits that other than Hoti, he was able to rid himself of all of Sei's traits in real life. She will spend the rest of her life in prison if she can't get him out of her brain. Sei learns of this a few days later, and then Hoti's personality entirely vanishes. Sei is sentenced to a short jail term because Inor believed his treatment was effective in treating her illness. In the final scene, Sei is talking to Inor outside of jail about life. She displays to him a lighter that resembles the one Hoti gave Momo at their previous meeting. Inor stares at it in disbelief as he realizes that she still carries some remnants of Sei the killer.